Hey everybody, it's Bethany from Cranberry Essential Tarot. Today I did a quick draw for myself, so I thought I would share it with you all. I drew 3 cards from the Crow Tarot. It is from MJ Cullinane, and I apologize if I butchered the name. It's an extremely beautiful deck, and if you like crows at all, which I do, this one, the artistry on this is beautiful. It's sort of a collage. She uses sort of a collage with the crows to represent the imagery, and they're very striking and very strong. So I wanted to share with you what I got. So the first card I got was the Hanged Man. So if you look at this crow, it's the usual representation in a tarot deck of, in this case, it's a crow upside down. It can often be for a person hanging upside down, or whatever they use to represent that. Now, generally, this would be a delay or waiting for something to happen. I tend to read this card as perspective when it comes up for me, needing a change of perspective, possibly looking at things from a different direction. That's the way I read that. The second one that I got was the Ace of Swords. And again, the imagery on this, I don't know if I can show this enough, is just beautiful. It's the Ace of Swords. There is the again, there's a rose, the sword coming up. The really, this crow is sort of bursting forth from the energy of the sword, and it's very powerful imagery. Again, you got the mountains in the back. It's very, very strong imagery. And, you know, of course, you read this as a chance to sort of test your intellectual being against something that you need to handle, but you're going to have that ability to do that. So that is understanding that you have that power within you. And the third one was the Emperor. And this is, again, absolute artistry in these cards. You have a crow upon a sword, meaning truth and wisdom and strength. And then there's the ram's head. And then, of course, the crown, or not the crown, the, is there a crown on that? He does have feathers around his neck, but there's definitely a throne there, meaning father figure of authority, sort of when I read that, I tend to read it as a male fatherly energy that is sort of guiding wisdom, helping to move the situation without being overly emotional, just sort of moving it forward. So there is that, or it could represent someone in your life who has that kind of energy. So those were the 3 cards for the day, but I wanted to really talk about the Hangman. And as I said, I read this as a perspective card. I always have. What I found interesting is in the book, it talks about, let's see, the Hangman asks you to put the situation or plan on pause so that you can look at it from a different angle. There may be a vital element that you're missing, and the results may be a longer delay. It suggests you get away from the situation, both mentally and physically, so that you can recharge your energy and approach this issue with renewed vitality. So one of the things that I've been doing lately, besides a lot of other things, but doing a lot of reading, and I started reading Norse Magic and Asatru, and I'm going to butcher that, I apologize, An Essential Guide to Ruins. And in it, she talks about, and I apologize, I don't know the name of the author at the moment, she talks about Odin's quest for knowledge. Now, Odin was the, in the hierarchy, it was Odin, and then, I'm going to screw that up. Anyways, Odin was on a quest for knowledge. The first one he knew it required a great sacrifice, in order to learn. And the first thing he did was because he was so in want of knowledge, he actually took his own eye out and offered that in show that of his dedication to this knowledge that he was seeking. And he went on and continued with that. And I think part of that is it's the sacrifice we make to move forward. Sometimes we have to leave the old stuff behind. In this case, he left an eyeball, but that's how that perspective goes. Again, eyeball perspective. I might think about that one. But the second thing that he did was, and I'll read it a little bit. He continued his exploration and quest until he learned about the magical ruins and their secret. He got intensely interested in them upon learning that the mysterious symbols gave complete control over the forces of nature, and he knew he had to make a huge sacrifice to master the ruins and understand them deeply. And what he did was to stab himself in the side. I think it's a bit counterintuitive, although completely understood. He stabbed himself in the side and then hung upside from a tree. And from there, he hung himself, and I can't pronounce the tree, so I apologize. He stayed there for 9 days without eating, drinking, or sleeping. And he discovered their powers and their mysteries successfully after getting close to death. Now, the star card doesn't request us to get that close to death. No one's saying you should, stab yourself and hang yourself out of a tree. And if you did, we might have to worry about you a little bit more. But what it does require is saying that you need to take another look at the circumstances and perhaps sacrifice something in order to move the situation in the way you want it to be. And I think that this is very much so the same perspective for any hangman in any deck. It's that it's not just a delay in gratification. It's the chance to take a step back and take a look at it. We are going, let's see. We're going direct today, and I think it's Saturday. Oh, gosh. Had to quickly check it. So Saturn went direct on the 11th. Today is the 12th. What that is when it goes into retrograde, you're required to pay your karmic debt. And that means that you may be working through those issues that created a karmic load on your soul. And so that when this goes forward, you may be looking at a different perspective. You may be looking at a chance to create new goals in your life, a new understanding of how you work in this situation or opportunity. So again, Hangman. We are talking about the ability to perhaps delay what we once thought was the goal and perhaps come up with a new goal. But the reading today says we've got everything else that we need to challenge to take it on. So even though it feels like, oh gosh, haven't I paid enough karmic debt? There may be something coming up that you haven't done, that you haven't looked at or dealt with, me included. That's always going to be a challenge for me. But it's definitely something that we all have to take a look at. And definitely, this is, that's what this year has been about. It's a journey. It's a spiritual journey to move forward. I call this a year of enlightenment. It's the age of Aquarius. You heard a lot of people talking about that, a lot of readers talking about that. And definitely, this is that energy that we're dealing with now, that this is going forward. So as I said, I thought I would just jump in here with my reading for today and share it for you. As I said, this applies not just to me. This will apply to everyone. This is in general. So take a little different perspective on something. Understand that you already have the mental ability and the acumen to be able to handle anything that life throws at you. You've already got this, and you've already paid your karmic debt, so to speak, of the load that you have so far. So moving forward, you should feel a little bit lighter. You should feel a bit more energized, looking at future things that you want to take on. And of course, there's the Emperor, who is that guide. You're always going to have that fatherly energy, that Odin, so to speak, that is watching over you and helping to move you, guide you forward. So there's a quick reading for today. I wanted to jump in and share that all with you. If you have any questions or comments, leave it in the comments below. I love the comments that have been coming up. They are fantastic. I'm truly blown away by the response and just the outpouring that I get. And you know what? Everybody's entitled to their opinions. I've said this before. I think a lot of people have mentioned this too. There's when you get into some of the bigger cases that are out there, people tend to think, well, we're coming to you for answers. There is an absolute out there. You should know this if you're a tarot. We don't know the answers. We know what the situation is at the time of the reading, but everybody has free will, and will continue to do so. So as with the World card, things revolve, things change, and you may be at the top of the wheel at one point, but you may be at the bottom of the next. So keep that in mind. Everything is a cycle. Can't have light without dark. Can't have good without bad. So that's my jump in for today. And I'll probably be doing a reading later on at some of the other stuff. I also have another one that I'm working on that I'm going to do for everybody. So I want to thank you all for joining with me today, and I hope you're all doing well. Stay safe, stay healthy, and I'm sending blessings from Maine. Bye-bye.